Hey, we're talking about board member CEO relationships, how they flourish to make the credit union flourish. And my first question to you is, what do you see as imperative for a CEO to build that relationship, to have an effective relationship with the board?
Communication and transparency are clearly key, and that's certainly what we ascribe to at Kitsap Credit Union, and certainly what D. Hilton is very supportive of. Okay. So we have a very good open channel with our CEO. The board chairman meets with him often.
Well, I think he is very skilled at keeping us informed. With today's technology of emails and phone communication, cell communication, our CEO does an excellent job of keeping all the board members involved in using all those media types.
Well, I think what's important is that our CEO knows he has the support of the board, and all of us find very important the philosophy of people helping people and the mission of the credit union. So we encourage him to take that leadership role, to step out on issues that are important to the industry, not just to Coastal, but to the industry as a whole. And I think knowing that he has that board support allows him to have the confidence to go out and do that and to make a mark.
It does take a long time to build relationships, but being very deliberate about getting to know who your board of directors is and establishing a rapport with them so that they know who you are and understand where you're coming from so that they can support you in your vision and the direction that you're trying to take the credit union in.
I think transparency is really important, and preparation. So making sure that as the CEO, you put a lot of thought into everything that you present to the board, and then allowing them the time to be able to review it. So, try to stay away from those last-minute insertions in the board package.
Because depending upon the number of seats on your board, you have that number of bosses. Yeah. Most of us, are used to having one boss. So you're going to go from anywhere from 5 to 15, depending upon how big or not big the board is.
I have a very wonderful, supportive board.
Yay.
Frankly, it's a relationship of if I need the chair, I call the chair. Okay. Otherwise, they are very hands-off until the board meeting, in which case they've read all the materials, they understand it, and they're very intelligent, successful people in their own right. And so they're really looking for the best interests of the credit union. And as long as we prepare really well-written, in-depth documents that support our position, it's frankly makes your life a lot easier as the CEO.
Well, I think in our particular case, the key there is the chairman. I mean, our chairman is just so supportive that, he's accessible at any time that I need it, that senior staff needs it and things. And that chairman, in our particular case, has been the real key to make sure that, things that are going on in the credit union that need to be conveyed to the board, that happen. Things that I'm supposed to take care of, they let me take care of that where they don't get involved. So in our particular case, the chairman has been the real key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So one of the things we did when our CEO came in was he and I, as board chair, met monthly. And that way I could bring to him any concerns that the board had. He could share with me any concerns of staff. And the two of us stayed aligned. And I think that was very important to setting the tone for the rest of the organization to ensure that was their open flow of communication, and we knew we could share things that needed to be said.
And then underneath those policies is a tone and a relationship, right? So the relationship depends a lot on communication, and it's got to be not just unidirectional, it's got to be both ways, So the board needs to communicate to the CEO needs to communicate to the board. I think the most important kind of aspect of board-CEO relationship is understanding the red line, or whatever you want to call it, the green line we'll call it, let's say.
I think building relationships are key. Building a great relationship with your board, communicating frequently, but really understanding, coming in new. I was fortunate I was an internal candidate, but someone coming in new as well, understanding the mission and the vision and what that means to the board. The board has, the credit unions are passionate, they're volunteers, so they certainly, have an idea and feel very strongly about the direction that the credit union's going in. So just really understanding that, working on that mission and vision, and then taking that and communicating it to your executive team, and then throughout your entire organization, and just really, in the beginning, building that relationship, communicating, and just getting a pulse of the institution in your members. That's so important.
Our CEO, when he came in, he made an effort to sit down to an individual lunch with each board member and really get to know each board member and their perspective and thoughts about the credit union. And I think that served him very well.
That's a great message to end on, too. That's a great idea.